My name is David Morton. I'm the Landscape Curator here at Brucemore. It's a 26-acre estate located in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and it's one of the few National Trust historic sites in the Midwest. And this show is about how to create this little piece of paradise in your own backyard. A day in the life of a gardener. So one of the best things about winter is planning the garden for the next year. And there's some elements that I try to keep in mind when I'm planning. Height being one. You don't want a 10-foot tall perennial in the front of your garden. You're going to want that in the middle of the bed or in the back of the bed. So in our beds, we have towards the back of the garden, there's a privet bush, and that's the back of the bed. So I'll tend to put a lot of taller perennials or shrubs back in there, like the tree peony. I have some old garden roses back there. We have some taller daylilies and those kinds of things back in the back of the beds. In some of the other beds that you can see on either side, we'll try to keep the taller stuff in the middle of the beds and then move down to the lower growing perennials. And there's usually like about 3 tiers of height. So you figure about 6-foot height, and then maybe some 4-foot height, and then 2 to 3 foot height plants on the very border, and some even less than a foot, like your catmint would be the border. And then you may have some sedum next, which would be a little higher, and then butterfly bush behind there, and then roses next to the butterfly bush. So you have height and interest, and you have different things blooming throughout the year. You'll want to have things that are going to be blooming in the spring, early spring, and then maybe some things that are going to bloom later spring, some things that are going to bloom in the early summer, some things that bloom all summer, some later in the summer, and then even plants that might bloom earlier in the fall. So you always have something going on with your perennials in the garden, and that's where annuals come in. And then the color, you'll know, like early in the spring, we have a lot of lavender colored plants that are blooming, lavender and some of the pinks. And then as the summer progresses, it gets a little darker into the blues and some of the reds. And then fall usually has yellows and autumn colored plants that are blooming, as well as turning in the garden, trees and shrubs, and even the flowers as they fade will turn a different color. So all of that is kind of important as you're planning the garden, especially if you want to have year-round interest. This is one of the websites I like to go to, Heirloom Roses, and they have some beautiful roses. But if you look and see how much a rose costs, $50. So I can't buy 100 of those every year, so I buy 3 or 4 every year. And I add each year a different rose. And then pretty soon, 10 years, you've got 30 roses, but you haven't spent $8,000 on them. I mean, you have, but not all in one season. So that's important to think about. Also, you may not want to plant 200 roses or 200 tulips all in the same year. So it makes sense not only fiscally, but because of the time and energy it takes to plant. And that way you can also see, as things grow, what is working and what is not working. So timing is important too. You don't have to plant everything as soon as the ground thaws. You can wait and plant over the course of 3 or 4 months. And sometimes in the fall, nurseries will have a lot of sales going on, so late summer, early fall, and you can just keep them alive in containers or go ahead and put them in the ground. But that's another way of saving some money. Also, maybe try some seeds. Try growing some seeds, and you can grow 100 marigolds for 99 cents for a seed pack, as opposed to buying 6 packs for $3.50 each. That'll save you some money. So there's all sorts of ways to make it fun and affordable and beautiful. Well, thanks for joining me today here on A Day in the Life of a Garden. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of these fabulous episodes. And most of all, make it fun and keep it affordable so that you can keep it fun and take advantage of the winter and look through all the catalogs, go to the websites, do your research, maybe order some seeds, plant some seeds, have some fun, make it fun. It should be fun. And remember that every little garden counts. So does yours. So until next time, stay warm, think about the spring, and go look at that catalog you got sitting on your coffee table. We hope you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more, hit the like button, the notification bell, and subscribe to the channel.